So today we're going to do a brow lamination. So we're going to start off with cleansing the brow area to get rid of any makeup or product that may be on the skin. You can use a clean spoolie to grab a little cleansing wipe. So we're going to cleanse the brows, making sure there's no makeup or skincare on the skin or brow hairs. You may need to use more than one little lash cleanser pad if they're wearing more makeup. And we're going to throw this away and discard that. We're going to go ahead and brush those brows up, just take a nice look at them. And then because she has sensitive skin, we are going to put a little bit of a barrier around her brows. So if some of the chemicals get on there, she has less of a reaction. So I'm going to take just a little bit of Aquaphor and just go around her skin. All right, throw that away. So we are going to take our lifting lotion, which is the number 2, and we're going to dispense about 2 pumps, maybe 3 pumps of this product. I'm going to take a little lip applicator wand and I'm going to grab some of that product. I'm going to apply it thoroughly to the brows and really work that product in. For people with more coarse brows or thick brows, you're going to want to use a lot more product. Try to stay just in that brow area and try not to get on this outer skin too much. With this treatment, it's very time sensitive. You're going to be having 2 timers going at the same time. That is 1 for each brow. Now that the product is lathered, I'm going to go ahead and start that timer for my first brow. Now working on the second brow, same thing. I'm going to dispense product, work it into the brows, really lathering them. Then there's a little bit more on her skin that I'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe that away with a clean Q-tip. I'm going to set my timer and I'm going to apply my saran wrap to the brows. I'm going to hold that saran wrap tight and press firmly and lay it onto the brow hairs. You can press into it a little bit, just try not to disturb the hairs or where the solution is. This is the only time you can kind of press that product down. Now we're going to wait our processing time. It's a total of 10 minutes, but we're going to break it into 2 into 5-minute increments. The first 5 minutes are going to soften those brow hairs so we can shape them to the way that we want. Once we have that 5 minutes, we can brush them how we want. The hairs are softened. We will set another timer for 5 minutes, making it a total of 10, and then we will remove the product. Your clients may feel a little bit of heat or tingliness, so you just want to check, does it feel warm at all?
A little bit.
A little hot, not too bad?
Not bad.
Okay, it's tolerable. Okay, now that the timer is up on our first brow, that first 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And I'm going to brush them into place. So you want to brush up towards the front of the brow and then over towards the tail of the brow. You never want to exceed a 45-degree angle because that can cause breakage with the hair. Make sure you pull them from the root straight out to where you want them to make sure there's no kinks within the hair. Then I'm going to apply a little bit more product. Place that film back down, making sure not to bump any of those brow hairs. And start my timer again. Now the other one is done. We'll take this off, brush into place. And there's a couple ways you can brush the hairs as well. You can do straight up and get them very full and fluffy, but you can also brush them up into the side to make them a little more sculpted, and you can even brush the top across to make them very sculpted. So I'm gonna make sure I get some of that excess product off of the skin. I'm gonna put a little bit more of that solution at the front of the brows. Going to place my saran wrap back down and have my 5 minutes going. Make sure not to touch the brows too much. You want to make sure they stay nice in place and still feels a little warm but still tolerable. Okay, so we're done with this first one. We can discard that with the little tool. I'm just going to rinse it out in the water and wipe it off. And this is a little micro spoolie applicator. Okay, now that our first brow is done, we're gonna go ahead and take that saran wrap off and we can discard this. Then we are gonna take a Q-tip and tap it into the water, get off that excess moisture just so it's damp. And then we're gonna remove this product. So we're just gonna brush straight up, scooping off all of that product. And then I have a little gauze here to wipe off some of that excess product. I'm gonna flush out our little Q-tip and continue to rinse the brows. Now that all the product is off, we're gonna go ahead and remove the other one now that our time is up. And do the same thing. So use a damp Q-tip, tap off the excess water, and remove the product. You want to make sure that all of that solution is completely out of the brow hairs before continuing. Okay, we're going to discard that. And now we are going to put our second solution on. So this is the fixing lotion number 3. We're going to follow that same steps that we did with the first solution. So get another lip wand and apply that product to the brows, brushing straight up, making sure you fully saturate the area. Wipe off any excess product. And we are going to put our saran wrap on. And set for 5 minutes. And we're going to do the same thing to the other brow. And if the brows have moved too much after removing that product, make sure you brush them back into place, because they will set with this solution. And set for 5 minutes. Okay, now that that brow is done, we're gonna go ahead and remove that saran wrap and still keep it. Then we're just gonna fully pick our shape that we want for our brows. So brush them into that exact shape that we want. So I'm gonna give her little fluffy brows, but nothing too much. So I'm gonna kind of curve over at the top of the brow. That. Wipe any product that may have moved. Go ahead and put that saran wrap back on. Make sure we don't move those brows. And set our timer again for 5 minutes. And now that our other brow is done, we're gonna do the same thing. Clean up any product that may have moved. And apply your saran wrap. and set your timer for another 5 minutes to do a total of 10, and let the brows process. Okay, now that our brows are done processing, we're gonna remove the saran wrap and discard. We're gonna do the same thing with the removal of the products. Dip it in water, Q-tip in water, and then brush straight upwards. Wipe off any excess on here. And our other brow is done as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that saran wrap and discard it, and remove the product from that brow. Now that both brows are done, they have processed 10 minutes total with each solution. We've removed all the product. We're gonna put on our last product, which is the brow serum. So we're gonna dispense that. Get another lip wand. And we're gonna fully saturate the brows in this hydrating serum. And if you wanted to wax the brows, you would do it before you put the serum on. If you wanted to tint them as well, you could do it before you put the serum on. Now, I'm gonna make sure I rinse out this little brush very well. And we're gonna give one more little brush to the brows to make sure they're exactly how I want them. If I need, I'll put a little bit more serum. Don't be afraid to saturate those brows. And then we're done.